Well, today is the day. It's finally time to talk about my favorite movies of 2023. I saw a whopping 82 new releases last year, and I've been running around like a madman for the past couple of weeks playing catch up, making sure I left no stone unturned. And thank God I did that, because there are a few movies on this list that I added very recently. So enough of the small talk, you know what the deal is here. Here are my 10 favorite movies of 2023. Coming in at number 10 is Dream Scenario, and this shouldn't be a surprise if you've ever spent any time with me on the channel, but I am a massive Nicolas Cage superfan. Always have been, always will be. I just think he's one of the most interesting actors working in Hollywood today. And over the last couple years, he continues to take on these unique and bizarre roles where I feel like he's the only actor I could ever envision portraying them. So when I heard they were making a movie where he plays a boring college professor that becomes an overnight sensation after he starts popping up in everybody across the globe's dreams at night, I couldn't have bought tickets fast enough. But what I wasn't expecting is that for how funny and ridiculous it all is, this movie is equal parts twisted and thought-provoking. It's truly a wild ride the whole way through. Coming in at number 9 is Killers of the Flower Moon, and the 90-minute movie is unfortunately dead because Martin Scorsese dropped a 3.5-hour epic on our asses with this one. But I'm not complaining because this is clearly a story that Scorsese is very passionate about, and that comes through effortlessly in its execution by exploring all of the power dynamics and criminal acts at play here. This movie is filled with incredible performances from Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and Lily Gladstone. They're really the lifeblood here that keep you invested in this beast of a film. You still get your usual crime drama aspects that Scorsese seems to always gravitate towards, but at its core, this film is about injustice, greed, and tragedy. Marty, you did it again. Coming in at number 8 is The Killer, and if you know me at all, you know that I'm a grown man that worships the ground that David Fincher walks on. Catch me on the right day of the week, I'll tell you he's my favorite director of all time. So when I heard he was teaming up with Michael Fassbender to make a deep character study on a contract killer that was also kind of a parody on himself, oh baby, I was all in. It's definitely not the most exciting movie in Fincher's catalog, but it has a lot to say about perfectionism, and the action he does give us in this one is masterfully done. Like literally, there's a scene where Fassbender has to go toe-to-toe with the guy that played Sauron in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. If that doesn't have you adding it to your watch list, I don't know what will. Coming in at number 7 is SpiderMan Across the Spider-Verse, and what a great follow-up this is to one of the best animated films and superhero films of all time. The bar was set sky high, and they somehow didn't just fall flat on their faces. And this is one of those rare animated movies where the visuals are so incredible and detailed, you could pause this thing at any point in the runtime, and it would straight up look like a painting. I'm not even kidding, it's truly insane. And to me, this is how you use the multiverse, okay? Like, this should be the blueprint going forward. It's actually important to the story, it's not just a device being used to feed the fan service beast and throw a new meaningless cameo at us every 30 seconds. But just like the first film, the animation is top-notch, the soundtrack is great, and the ending has me needing the next chapter yesterday. Coming in at number 6 is The Holdovers, and if this movie doesn't prove that Paul Giamatti is the most underrated actor of his generation, what are we even doing here? But he's able to really shine in this movie because there are a couple of awesome side characters for him to play off of. Divine Joy Randolph really brings the emotion to this film, and Dominic Sessa is going to be an actor to watch for years to come. I still can't process that this is his first acting role ever, and that he was discovered because he was enrolled at the school they were filming the movie at. That just doesn't happen. But this is a great story of regret, growth, and getting out of your comfort zone, and I can see myself revisiting it every Christmas season. And being a Boston guy, you already knew I was going to have a lot of love for this film. Come on. Coming in at number 5 is Talk to Me. And this is definitely the horror movie of the year from where I'm sitting. A cool concept, good characters, a creepy as hell relic it's all centered around. All the necessary ingredients are in here. And this so perfectly blends together those supernatural aspects with this real psychological horror. It honestly kind of reminded me a lot of other films I love, like Hereditary, It Follows, and The Babadook. I think it has a lot to say about how the youth of this generation is obsessed with taking anything that's traumatic or painful and turning it into a spectacle to help them climb the social ladder. The montage scene of them playing with the embalmed hand at the party might be my favorite of the year, and for a sick puppy like me, that ending gave me absolutely everything I could have wanted out of it. So good. Coming in at number 4 is They Cloned Tyrone, and I've been screaming from the rooftops about this movie to anyone that will listen to me ever since it came out, and I truly believe it will go down as the most underappreciated and underseen movie of the entire year. It perfectly mixes comedy, drama, horror, sci-fi, and mystery without missing a single beat, which is already unheard of to begin with, but doing that in a directorial debut? Come on now. John Boyega is absolutely amazing in this movie, and he's backed up by a couple of great performances from Jamie Foxx and Tiona Paris. A drug dealer, a pimp, and a prostitute start investigating a cloning conspiracy going on in their hood. Don't even lie, I know you're intrigued. But this one is basically Get Out and Sorry to Bother You smashed together, and it absolutely rips. Coming in at number 3 is Oppenheimer, and you knew this had to be somewhere high up on my list, because Christopher Nolan does not mess around. And right off the bat, since we know this is a Nolan film, all of the technical aspects of this movie are obviously incredible here. The cinematography, the sound design, and the color grading are all top notch. Everybody and their mother is in this thing, and even though the entire cast absolutely crushes it in their respective roles, the clear standout here for me is Robert Downey Jr. Like, this is definitely the best performance we've seen since his departure from the MCU. Sorry to all the Doolittle fans out there. But if anyone's winning an Oscar for this movie, it's gotta be him. But this film is powerful, it's fascinating, it's tragic. What more can I say? Another big winner from Nolan. Coming in at number 2 is John Wick Chapter 4, and come on, at the end of the day, I'm just an action guy when it's all said and done. And this movie feels like the perfect culmination of all the groundwork laid by the first 3 films. It takes all of the character development, the consequence, and the world building of those previous entries and cranks it up to 11. And somehow they package it into a 3-hour epic that doesn't overstay its welcome. And this chapter really feels like a video game in all of the best ways possible, because there are different levels and mini-bosses and different fighting styles and music to go along with those. And all of these sequences show just how much Chad Stahelski has learned behind the camera whenever he makes these movies, and is still finding ways to elevate the action genre with every new film in the series. The Baba Yaga lives on. Coming in at number 1 is Godzilla -1, and after watching countless monster movies over the years, I went into this film expecting nothing more than mindless and forgettable popcorn entertainment. What I obviously wasn't expecting was to see Godzilla being used as the perfect representation of post-World War II desolation in Japan. Like, what? They really just strike the perfect tonal balance with this film, because anyone looking for a CGI-filled monster blockbuster still gets plenty of Godzilla turning these cities into his own personal playground, and anyone looking for an engaging, high-stakes drama is met with a bevy of easy-to-root-for and complex characters. The Tokyo atomic breath sequence should go down as the most terrifying scene of the entire year, and I probably felt like 20 different emotions during this movie's 2-hour runtime. The King of the Monsters is also the King of 2023. So there you have it, guys, my ranking of the 10 best movies of 2023. Now you know what my list looks like, but I want to see what yours is. Let me know in the comments below what movies from last year left the biggest impression on you. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys at the next one.